Hi, my name is Isaiah. Welcome to the E3 2021 special. This is day one of the Summer Games Fest, and I just watched it, and it's really not that bad. It's a great appetizer before the big meal, and we only have today and tomorrow. It's the day one, it's the kickoff, and it was a pretty good presentation. I know that there's something else coming on. I think it's called Day of the Devs, and they actually had some pretty good games that were announced. It's just a little small thing before we get to the major companies like Xbox or Microsoft, Switch, and Square Enix and all that, and we'll get to that over the weekend, but it's just today and tomorrow. It's just the appetizers, really. And the most major game that they talked about that they put on the last part of the presentation was Elden Ring. I heard about it, I was familiar with it just a little bit, and when I actually watched the trailer, it gave me like Dark Souls vibes. Not really my cup of tea, but you know, I really respect the presentation that they're going for. But there are other games I would like to talk about. There's one that's called Tiny Tina's Wonderland game announcement. It's basically like a Borderlands art style game, but it's like a spin-off, I guess. I don't know everything about it, but that's what stood out to me during that presentation. Also, Death Stranding Director's Cut. I never even watched a single gameplay of Death Stranding. It looked interesting, and once it came out, I had no interest at all. But I'd like to hear you guys' opinion about Death Stranding. Just let me know in the comments down below. Also, they talked about the Monster Hunter story from Nintendo. I thought Nintendo was gonna talk about it in their Direct, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Direct was able to talk about it, or is able to talk about Monster Hunter story again, even though we just watched it today. The one game that actually piqued my interest was the game called Endless Dungeons. It's from Sega, and it's also going to be on the Switch, which I am interested in. I'll look into it on my own time, but right now, it just stood out to me. Also, there's one game that I did not know that it didn't even come out. There was no release date back then. The game is called Tunic. It's like a 2D, 3D, but it's a top-down, and it's like a kind of like Zelda adventure, but it's a fox. There's a lot that I don't know about, but I would like to explore more. But that game looks beautiful, and it looks fun, and I did not know it never even released. Did they have? Wait, Jesus Christ, I felt like I didn't pay attention to the presentation because, you know, I just saw games. That's it. So still no release date, unless if I'm wrong, but still no release date from Tunic. It's supposed to be coming out this year. So lastly, there's one game that I am surprised is coming out on the Switch, and it's called Evil Dead. And this gives me Dead by Daylight vibes, but this time you can actually fight monsters. That game looks interesting. I thought it would only be on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, but no, it's also coming out on the Switch, which is nice. I'm actually interested in that game. But that is all for the Summer Games Fest on day one. It's a nice kickoff. It's like an appetizer before the big meal. And the major dessert is Nintendo. Maybe, I don't know, I'm still thinking about that. It's either a dessert or a big meal. But, you know, I'm looking forward to what's to come for the Summer Games Fest. And I guess I was wrong. There's no competition in some way or whatever between Summer Games Fest and E3. When I looked into more information, Summer Games Fest is basically like a partnership with E3, trying to have like a pre-E3 show before the main event starts, and I'm all about it. But that's gonna be all for today, guys. Let me know what you think about what games are you guys excited for. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that's gonna be all. Love yourself, don't procrastinate, sayonara.